Is the RTX 4070 Ti Super graphics card enough for high demanding titles at 4K resolution? This GPU is one of the best ones from Nvidia when it comes to 1440p resolution gaming. How does it perform in the most high demanding games at 4K? Is it actually enough, or should you buy a higher end GPU like the RTX 4080 Super if you want to play at 4K in those high demanding titles? In today's video we will find out, but first I want to say that you will have the best RTX 4070 Ti Super models down below in the video description with the latest prices and availability. My name's Valentino. That being said, let's start. And before putting this GPU into the test, with this video I want to answer two questions. The first one, well, it's obvious. Is it actually enough for 4K, or should you buy a different card? And the second question I want to answer is whether or not you should buy this graphics card if you have around $800 to spend, because maybe there's another option that's actually better when it comes to price to performance. Now let's start testing this graphics card at 4K resolution. Now the CPU that I'm using alongside this graphics card is the Ryzen 7 7800X3D from AMD, which is one of the fastest CPUs in the entire market, and this makes this entire test more accurate. The reason why is because having the fastest CPU out there will remove any CPU bottlenecks, which is what we are looking for. We are looking for our GPU, the 4070 Ti Super, utilizing most of its power. Anyway, the first game that I will be testing today is Cyberpunk 2077. So right now I'm testing Cyberpunk 2077 Ultra settings. In the top left corner you can see the average FPS, and you can also see the FPS in real time. Now, testing this game on ultra settings, we are hitting under 60 FPS, which is understandable. This is one of the most high demanding titles out there in the entire market. But honestly, if you want a 40 plus FPS gaming experience, so a console type of gaming experience, this is definitely playable. I think you can play these type of games at 30 or 40 plus FPS and still have a good gaming experience, but it's not going to be ideal. So if you want to play Cyberpunk 2077, I would recommend you changing the settings a bit like I'm going to do right now. However, the FPS average ended up being 43 FPS. So after that, I decided to turn on DLSS quality, and honestly, I couldn't notice the difference between DLSS quality and native resolution, so I believe that is the better option if you want to play Cyberpunk. If you want, you can turn everything to ultra, put DLSS quality on, and then the FPS are going to go up at least to 50 plus FPS. Now, the total FPS average with DLSS quality on ended up being around 56 FPS, which is much better than around 40 like before. So the last test I decided to make is DLSS quality, but this time on high settings instead of ultra, and surprisingly enough, I couldn't notice the difference once again between ultra or high settings and DLSS quality on or DLSS off. So while testing high settings, DLSS quality on, the FPS were much better at around 90 plus FPS on average. This is a really good number, and it is much more playable than 40 or 50 plus FPS. So if you want a better experience at 4K, in my opinion, this is the best setting. High settings, DLSS quality on, the image quality is still amazing. I'm telling you, I can't notice a difference, and the FPS average in the end is 96. And now let's move to a different game in Red Dead Redemption 2. Now in Red Dead Redemption 2, there is only one area where the FPS were below 60 FPS. After that, every area was well over 60 FPS. Now I am testing this one on ultra settings with DLSS quality on. So if you want to play this game, you can easily play at 4K ultra with DLSS quality. However, once again, if you want even faster performance, you can turn down the settings to high, not notice the difference, and get a much faster performance. Don't worry, because I will test that setting in just a moment. However, after testing Red Dead Redemption 2 ultra settings with DLSS quality on, the FPS average ended up being around 70 FPS. And then while testing this game on high settings instead with DLSS quality on, once again, I can't notice a difference. The FPS were much higher, and in the most high demanding area we were getting around 90 FPS. So this is the area that lowers the entire FPS average in the end. And honestly, if you want to play with a smooth level of gaming performance In this game, once again, high settings, DLSS quality in my opinion is the best one if you want great visuals and better performance. In the end, the FPS average while testing this game on high settings with DLSS quality ended up being over 90 FPS. After that, I decided to test the 4070 Ti Super in other high demanding titles at 4K resolution with DLSS quality on. You can pause the video if you want to see the exact FPS for each game or the total FPS average. And then I also tested this graphics card on ultra settings without DLSS quality on. Once again, you can pause the video if you want to see the exact numbers. So to answer this question, yes, the 4070 Ti Super is definitely capable of running games at 4K, even high demanding games on ultra settings. Now, it is ideal to enable DLSS quality on, especially if you want to play on ultra settings. Trust me, you will not notice a difference with your human eyes between DLSS quality on or DLSS quality off. And if you don't want to turn on DLSS for whatever reason, you can always turn down the settings from ultra to high settings. That's going to improve massively the level of performance and your gaming experience overall, and the visual quality is going to be the same. At least for me, once again, I cannot notice the difference between DLSS on, DLSS off, or the difference between high and ultra settings. But of course, you have to do this testing and see yourself whether it makes sense to play on high, ultra, or with DLSS. And I guess another question might be, is 4K actually worth it? Because you take a huge performance hit, and in my opinion, it is not worth it. I have both a 1440p and a 4K monitor, and the difference between 1440p and 4K is not as mind-blowing as going from 1080p to 1440p. That being said, you are taking a big performance hit. Keeping that in mind, you can have a 1440p monitor, play on ultra settings, achieve higher frame rates, and spend less money. So in my opinion, that's the best thing you can do if you want the best price to performance, but that is not what this video is about. If you already have a 4K monitor and you are looking to buy a 4070 Ti Super, or maybe you're looking to buy a Prebuilt PC that has a 4070 Ti Super, like this one right here in the Skytech 011 Dynamic. By the way, the link to that PC will be down in the video description. Well, in that case, yes, the 4070 Ti Super is definitely capable of 4K resolution gaming. Now I will answer the question on whether or not you should buy the 4070 Ti Super if you have around $800 to spend. But before answering that question, I want to say that if you are finding valuable information, leave a like and subscribe. It's going to help the channel grow a lot, and you will get to learn more about computers. Now let me give you my final thoughts. Now, the 4070 Ti Super as of right now is going for $780 for its cheapest model by the time of filming, while the RX 7900 XT, which is its competition from AMD, is going for around $640. So that's more than $100 less compared to the 4070 Ti Super. And in terms of gaming performance, the 7900 XT is almost the same as the 4070 Ti Super. On average, it is actually a bit faster, but it's going to depend on game by game. That being said, I made an entire video talking about the 4070 Ti Super against the 7900 XT, so you can go ahead and watch that one if you want a more in-depth answer. But let me make it short for you. If you want the best price to performance, then the 7900 XT is going to be the better option because it's quite cheaper and it's going to deliver the same level of rasterized gaming performance. However, the 4070 Ti Super has DLSS, which is a better upscaler compared to FSR from AMD, so if you will be using DLSS, then the 4070 Ti Super might be worth it. It is also better for most productivity work applications if you care about that, and it is also faster for ray tracing. However, most people do not care about ray tracing at all. So that's honestly the best answer I can give you. The 4070 Ti Super is the better graphics card overall, but if you want to do just gaming, the better price to performance product is going to be the 7900 XT from AMD. Remember that you will have the best 4070 Ti Super and also 7900 XT models down in the video description with the best price to performance, best cooling, and everything in between. And if you're looking for a new gaming PC that can run any game that you want at 1080p, 1440p, or 4K, all budgets included, then you can watch my video on the best on-sale gaming PCs of the month, and you can find that video in the middle of the screen and also in the video description. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.